sloshy St. Louis, Missouri. Here at Budweiser Stadium, the St. Louis Gladiators are going to take on the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. My name is Eric Vinson. I'll be doing the play-by-play commentary right alongside Ramos Lynn. What's going on, Ramos?
Hey, Eric. I think this is going to be a very good game. Let's see if the Sioux Falls Sparrows can keep the streak going. They look very strong coming into the playoffs, and we see every year that team that really finished strong in the regular season. They make noise in the playoffs. This is the Sioux Falls Sparrows right now. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Absolutely. St. Louis, unfortunately, on the other side of things, looking at a 5-game losing streak, trying to snap that streak here against the red-hot Sioux Falls Sparrows. We'll see what goes on here as we go down to the coin toss. The Sparrows are going to get the ball first, winning the toss. And St. Louis will kick off to start the game. St. Louis going to be in the Sioux Falls going to be in the all whites. And St. Louis going to be in the black tops with gray pants. So with the ball teed up, we will get things ready to go. From about the 10-yard line, up the middle of the field, brought down at the 30-yard line of Sioux Falls, and that is where they will take over. We mentioned a sloshy day today. It is 38 degrees, rain and sleet in the forecast, maybe a few flurries. Try saying that 3 times fast. And winds up to 10 miles an hour from the north as we get our first look at the Sioux Falls offense, commanded by Julian Tyree, number 10. Tyree with a short drop, zings it over to the left-hand side, got a man, knocked out of bounds, and that's the first catch of the ball game.
And against other teams, I think this will be a very good home field advantage. But when you face a team like Sioux Falls, they are used to cold weather. They are used to snow and rain and sloppy football. So I think that Sioux Falls will be able to adapt easy to these conditions. That's a very good play to start the game, I think. Builds confidence for your QB and gives you an easy second down.
Especially in weather like this today. Definitely don't want to be throwing the ball around too much, but Tyree is going to throw it again. Checks it down to his running back. That is Robert Redford, and we have our first penalty flag on the field of the day.
Holding, number 73.
And it's going to be a hold against the Sparrows, so they're going to bring them back 10 yards, and we're going to retry second down now.
Yeah, it was a screen pass, or it seems that it was attempted to be a screen pass, and you see that very often, Eric, when screen passes go, the offensive line try to go on the second level. Sometimes they hold or a block in the back, something like that. It was a hold that time, and it is now a difficult second down for the Sioux Falls Sparrows.
Mentioned Redford and Tyree. Michael Moore on the receiving end of the first catch of the game, along with Sean Harrelson and A.J. Warren. Those are your wide receivers for Sioux Falls. As Robert Redford gets his first carry of the ball game, only gets 2, so that sets up a 3rd and forever.
Yes, and the St. Louis Gladiators defense, they have Aiden Friday, they have Scott Lureau, they have Manny Eisenhower. They have those guys on the front 7, so it's going to be difficult for the Sioux Falls Sparrows to run against that defense.
So 3rd and 12, Tyree's going to bomb it over the middle, and it is incomplete. Looked like it was bobbled a few times. Aaron Arrington out there on the coverage, the veteran corner, and that's going to be a 3-and-out for Sioux Falls.
Yeah, and that penalty proves to be costly for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. They had an easier second down, and that check down gave him like 2 yards. It was like a 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Instead of after the penalty, they had to throw the ball deep. And again, the St. Louis Gladiators defense are loaded on defense on every side. I mean, they have big names like Colin Douglas and Freeman Peltier on that defense, so it's going to be difficult for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. They have to go on those 3-and-1s.
Speaking of Peltier, he's going to receive the punt there, bringing up the field to about the 38-yard line. Good field position here for the Gladiators as they get things going. Did I get those colors wrong when I started this off, Ramos?
I think it's like an honor to the St. Louis Rams even more, because it looks like dark blue and kind of gold.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I've always been bad at colors anyway.
Yeah, with this rain, it's kind of difficult to see, but it seems that that way.
A Seal is going to throw it to start things off, and he's got a man out on the right-hand side. That's a big first down for the Gladiators.
That's a beautiful throw by ACO. You know, that's a post route, and it's difficult. Again, in these conditions, it's very difficult to throw the ball down the field. They do it perfectly, and we get confirmation. This is some Rams tribute units. They look perfect for the St. Louis Gladiators today.
Excellent confirmation here as Dylan the Seal is going to throw it again. He's going to check it down to his running back. Has plenty of room, 6 or 7 yards, out to the 33-yard line. And just like that, St. Louis is in enemy territory. Excuse me, that was actually the fullback.
Yeah, the fullback on that one. And that's how you get your non-contracted players involved. You know, Truckee Stack. And we see time and time again those non-contracted players who really contribute to the offense or the defense of a football team here in the SFL. You know, Truckee Stack, non-contracted player, gets 7 yards. That's very, very good production.
Dylan the Seal is going to throw again. Deep pass into coverage. It's going to be incomplete. Over the middle, he might have been looking for his big tight end, Elijah Swain.
I think he was looking for Elijah Swain indeed, but when you have defensive players like A.J. Levy and, you know, Adam Okoye on that secondary, it's tough. You know, Chris Dodd, he's the free safety, so he was in that facility. It's going to be tough for the St. Louis Gladiators to throw the ball. Sioux Falls gets a lot of interceptions. That defense gets a lot of turnovers.
Enzo Diaz is going to be the running back. He's going to get the handoff, and he's going to get knocked in the backfield. That Sioux Falls defense holding strong. Loss of a yard, and that'll be a field goal try coming up for St. Louis.
And that's a great stop, and I don't think they're going to try the field goal. I think they might try to punt because this is a 50-yarder in the rain, so I think they will punt.
Good call there by Ramos Lynn. Punting team is out there. Kissinger is the punter for St. Louis. Hoping to kill it right inside the 20. Fair catch called for, and it'll be made at the 14-yard line. So a punt down inside the 20. Punter did his job.
Yeah, I mean, when you can pin him deep inside the 20-yard line, it's very good, especially with that defense. They held strong in the previous drive. So, you know, it's all about the St. Louis defense trying to get in the field position battle.
Colin Douglas, Aaron Arrington are your corners for St. Louis. Scott LaRue, Manny Eisenhower, Aiden Friday out there as well, along with Freeman Peltier and Nick Daggs, excuse me. Big play over to the left-hand side. Michael Moore, he is going to go all the way. Barely even touched as he celebrates in the end zone. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
And that's how Michael Moore gets in the paint. And this was a coverage for St. Louis. I think they were expecting probably the run or kind of like a screen pass, because the corner, I think it was Colin Douglas, he went with the flats and he left Michael Moore wide open. Freeman Peltier not fast enough and could not make the tackle. That's a big, big miscue by the St. Louis defense.
We get a look at his small celebration there towards the end, much to the chagrin of the Gladiators fan base. It was a good deep-looking pass there. There was really only one guy who could bring him down, and he obviously missed the tackle.
Yeah, unfortunate there by the Sioux Falls, the St. Louis Gladiators defense, because I think they just called the wrong defense. I think they were expecting like a screen pass, something underneath, something like safe for the Sioux Falls Sparrows. But we know Julian Tyree, he likes to throw the ball deep, and found his veteran receiver, Michael Moore.
Prefontaine knocks it through for a 7-0 lead. Make sure to download the ScoreStream app to receive live score updates from the SFL, the league's official live scoring partner, where you can cheer, chat, and most importantly, stay up to date on all the fast-paced action. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music, as Prefontaine kicks it off here to St. Louis for their second possession. Inside the 10, Peltier's going to bring it up into a sea of Sparrows, like a flock of Sparrows, out to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and please make sure to download that ScoreStream app if you have not. Like, for example, I forgot that you all in the U.S. changed time zones, and the thing that reminded me was ScoreStream. ScoreStream sent me a notification saying, hey, the Indianapolis game is going to start in 30 minutes, you know, and that's how I remembered. So download the app. It's amazing, and it keeps you updated on everything.
And off to Diaz, trying to make it out of the backfield. He's going to go nowhere as he's wrapped up. Loss of 3 on the play. That's a big loss to start off the drive.
Yeah, probably the best core of linebackers here in the SFL. You have Alex Barker, you have Nick Fargo, and you have Levon Irvine. And those 3 dudes, they can stuff the run, stuff the short passes. And then you have, obviously, A.J. Levy and Chris Dodd back there if something gets out of hand. So this Sioux Falls defense is really, really good. One of my favorites.
Definitely can't forget Adam Okoye and Nick Pop over on the corners covering those great receivers. As Elijah Swain gets his first catch of the ball game out to the 33-yard line.
You know, Elijah Swain, one of the best tight ends, I have to say, in SFL history. That this guy has been here for a minute now in a couple teams. And, you know, he's the guy who reminds me a little bit like a Jason Witten here in the SFL. Very good hands, a big dude, big target, doesn't drop passes.
ACL's going to throw. Defense was there. Out there on the right-hand side, I think that was Pop that made the tip away. I'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Pop or it was actually Adam Okoye. And Adam Okoye was part of the Santa Fe Gorillas a few seasons ago, so I know that guy very well. Extremely good in coverage, especially when you put him on an island one-on-one. He's one of the best we've had, at least in the Santa Fe Gorillas franchise history when he was with us. So you can put that guy one-on-one, he will get the job done.
Got the job done there as Kissinger is on for his 2nd punt of the ball game. Fielded by Levy, and he goes nowhere. He gets thumped right at the 37. Excuse me, that was Michael Moore back receiving the punt. Out to the 37-yard line, and Sioux Falls will get another crack at it here after going up 7-0 on their last drive.
Yeah, let's see if the St. Louis defense can redeem themselves with a turnover or something like that. They cannot allow for these big receivers to get behind them. Michael Moore, obviously you have those guys. So, you know, A.J. Warren, Sean Harrelson. Let's see what they can do.
Tyree's going to check it down to his halfback, Redford, who barrels over one defender, makes it out to about the 42-yard line. As we get a look at some receiving numbers here, the numbers are a little bit skewed so far.
Yeah, but this is what we saw last week from the Sioux Falls Sparrows offense. They were able to throw the ball all over the yard against the Tulsa Desperados with those post routes and corner routes and go routes and all that. They were able to throw the ball deep all day. So, Julian Terry seems to be on a roll.
Tyree will have 4 wide receivers to play with on this drive. Into the middle of the field, and that's tipped and incomplete. Peltier was back there in coverage.
No, that was another post route that it worked perfectly fine against the Tulsa Desperados last week. They were able to hit it all day long. On that one, Freeman Peltier was ready for it, one of the experienced safeties here in the league. Great play.
Ends up a 3rd and 5. 3 wide receivers set, 2 backs in the backfield. Tyree's going to be under center. Short drop, evading pressure, and he's going to get thrown down, body slammed into the turf at the 39-yard line. What a heck of a play. Trying to see if that was Aiden Friday that got in there and got him.
Chad Longstreet, that is the non-contracted defensive lineman. And this is a stunt. It was like a Tiger stunt, mixed stunt, where the defensive tackles cross. And it was perfect because Sioux Falls was not ready for it. Miscommunication on the offensive line and a big play to force a 4th down. They needed it.
Pressure was coming from the middle of the field. I just assumed Friday was getting in there and causing some pressure. But the non-contract defensive end making his name felt, and we've got a defensive battle here with the exception of that one big play. Sioux Falls is going to punt it away now. Peltier gets whacked right at the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 22, give him a couple yards. And we'll see what St. Louis and company wants to do here.
Yeah, the St. Louis Gladiators, offense. An offense that has some pieces. They have Nick Finch on the wide receiver spot. They also have Cody Scott, Elijah Swain. They have Denzel Diaz. But, I think they have to run the ball a little bit more with Diaz in these conditions.
That was my thinking as well. Like Sioux Falls is thinking is they're stacking the line. Ooh. And guess who? Levon Irvine laying the lumber on that play. Jeez.
Well, maybe you don't want to run against those linebackers. And I was saying, those linebackers, Levon Irvine, Alex Parker, Nick Fargo, they don't mess around. They come to play every week. Fast linebackers, sideline to sideline. They tackle very well.
The Seals instead going to throw another check down to the fullback. This time Sioux Falls was ready for it. Only gets back maybe a yard or two. And it's going to be another 3rd and long.
Sideline to sideline. Nick Fargo on that play, the outside linebacker on the other side of the field. And, those type of swing passes against the Sioux Falls Sparrows are not working.
4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of play. St. Louis going to throw, and oh my gosh, what a heck of an interception, and that's going to go back to the house. A.J. Levy into the end zone. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
Wow. And
that wasn't even Levy.
Yeah, that's actually Chris Dodd who gets in the paint and a pick six. And it was kind of like a strange play all around. The receiver kind of ran a strange route on this one. It was kind of like an out route, but then he stopped, and probably the rain, he was unable to make the catch. Chris Dodd, Johnny on the spot, gets the pick six. And, when you can get contributions out of your defense like that, Eric, that is going to be just so big. And on the road, 14-0, Sioux Falls looking good.
My apologies to Chris Dodd. I was looking at the wrong end of the field, apparently. But just a bizarre-looking play as just right place, right time. Dodd was able to take it back for the score. Let's see if they can take a 2-touchdown lead, as that's a second high snap from Sioux Falls, able to get it down. But it is now a 14-0 game. Sioux Falls on top. And again, make sure to download that ScoreStream app to receive live score updates from the SFL, the league's official live scoring partner, where you can cheer, chat, and most importantly, stay up to date on all the fast-paced action. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. As Sioux Falls opening up a 14-point lead here in the opening quarter, trying to preserve a 4-game winning streak, which is bananas. And bananas is that hit right there. Sioux Falls not letting up at all as Freeman Peltier bounces back up.
Yeah, them boys from South Dakota came to play today. In the first quarter, they have delivered some big hits. Obviously a pick six, a big, it's all been big plays for Sioux Falls. The big bomb to score a touchdown. It was like a 86-yard touchdown pass. Then the pick six. St. Louis has to wake up.
Another handoff and another stop behind the line. Just big plays all over the field by this Sparrow defense.
That's Lennox Sanders, and what a job on the speed by the defensive lineman, not contracted big guy defensive lineman. And that seemed like to be like a misdirection type of play, because the running back tried to reverse field for some reason instead of just going to the outside, and Sioux Falls was ready for it.
Plenty of pressure being dealt by the Sparrows as another throw into coverage by a Seal. This time looking for Nick Finch, and another incomplete pass.
Yeah, another very dangerous throw there, and that's what I'm saying. Those linebackers, they cover the run very well, and they're silent to sideline, their speed, and Alex Parker almost came away with the INT.
So an obvious passing situation here as a Seal is under center, 2 backs in the backfield. He'll drop back, has plenty of time, but that time evaporates quickly. He's going to be sacked. And that's Levant Irvine again getting in there and providing the pressure.
You don't see very often those linebacker blitzes here in the SFL. Most defensive corners like to put the linebackers against the running backs or just in coverage. But in that time, Levant Irvine, it was a 3rd down and long. Levant Irvine comes in the blitz and makes the sack.
Just absolutely bananas defense so far. I'm going to keep using that word. Maybe it's the helmets. But Sioux Falls, Michael Moore with a nifty move, running backwards though, as he'll retreat back to the 46-yard line. And Sioux Falls will get another crack at it, hoping to take a 3-touchdown lead in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to be gone for a touchdown when he made that move, and I saw that he had some open space, but nice job by the St. Louis Gladiators limiting the damage.
Good closing speed by that special teams coverage by St. Louis. Sioux Falls, handoff to Redford. Plenty of room up the middle. 7 or 8 yards on first down, and that's what you want every time out of your running back.
Yeah, and that's all you want from your running back. You know, Robert Redford, up the gut, gets 7 yards. You know, obviously you like to see those big time runs, but you know, sometimes the running game is to keep that defense honest, and then that leaves the path to those deep passes that Julian Tyree likes to do with the receivers.
We get a look at Tyree's numbers there. 97 yards, a touchdown already. St. Louis stacking the box a little bit here, anticipating another run, which it is. Redford not going to get the first down. Barely got a yard on that play. Good defense. There's Aiden Friday on the stop.
Yeah, that's Aiden Friday, and you know, sometimes you don't get credited with the stat, but you know, Manny Eisenhower, when you can stack up that defensive line, the center of that defensive line, and let your linebackers fly and make the tackles, that's just so important. Very good play by Manny Eisenhower as well.
So the third down here for Sioux Falls. Can St. Louis hold up? No, they can, and Robert Redford's going to break it up the middle. Huge gain out to the 27-yard line.
What a job by the offensive line here of the Sioux Falls Sparrows. And if you let me, I'm going to shout him out, you know, Alvin style. You know, Tim Freeman, Greg Krutz, tackling guard on the left side. The center is Chuck Allen. On the right side, you have Cooper Colston and Joey Holt, guard and tackle respectively. And they did a great job on that one. It was a freeway that Redford was able to run through. Great play by the Sioux Falls Sparrows. They are in field goal range again.
Wide open spaces for Robert Redford and company. Julian Tyree is going to throw. He's got a man over the middle of the field, and I think that was that post route that they like to run there, Ramos.
It was a post route, and Michael Moore does a great job, great catch. And again, everything starts with the offensive line blocking. Look at the protection. Look at that pocket that Julian Tyree has to throw. Clean pocket, great throw, great catch. First and goal for Sioux Falls. They look very, very dangerous today.
Just making it look easy out there, like playground football. Of course, this makes me think of some playground football I used to play when I was younger, in the rain, in the slush, in the muck. Another carry for Redford out to the 7-yard line. We might get one more play before the end of this great first quarter.
Yeah, we will get, well, I think one last play. And if I'm Sioux Falls, you know, right now, second and goal, ball at the 7, I'm probably running the ball again with Robert Redford. I mean, it has worked. And, you know, you keep bleeding that clock. You keep the ball in your control. I will run the ball again.
Close out the half. Tyree's got other plans. Got a man on the right-hand side, and that's going to be a gain out to the 2-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be third and goal when we resume here from St. Louis, Missouri. Budweiser Stadium. A rainy and wet one. Sioux Falls out to a 14-0 lead and knocking on the door once again. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Flipping sides of the field here for this second quarter. 4 wide receiver set.
Watch that run to the left.
Instead, it's going to be an easy pass into the middle of the field. Touchdown. And that's Sean Harrelson with his first catch of the game.
Wow, that's just easy pitch and catch. And Sean Harrelson gets in the paint. Julian Tyree, what a play. I mean, he changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Stands in the pocket very strong. That's a simple slant route. And it seems that St. Louis went with an all blitz. So that left the room open for the score.
Chad Longstreet, the only guy that was anywhere close to Harrelson as he kind of strode into the end zone. And this is getting out of hand here in the second quarter. What do you think St. Louis has to do to get back in this, Ramos?
Well, I think they have to now involve a little bit more of the running backs. I know I said Denzel Diaz, but this linebacking core of the Sioux Falls Sparrows is extremely good. Mind you, the secondary as well. But when you're 21-0, you gotta do something. I think you gotta throw the ball to Nick Finch, who is your star wide receiver. to Cody Scott, to Elijah Swaim. Elijah Swaim has made a couple catches middle of the field. So I think you have to put ACL on a little bit of rhythm, throw the ball short to Elijah Swaim, maybe on slant routes, out routes, something like that, to build some confidence.
Bringing it up the field, Peltier trying to give his team a spark out to the 32-yard line. That was a good kick return there. You did see the advertisement come on the screen there. Make sure, again, to download that ScoreStream app. You're going to get live score updates from the SFL. It is the league's official live scoring partner. You can cheer, chat, most importantly, stay up to date on everything SFL related. And here we are with 3 wide receivers bunched toward the bottom of the screen. A quick little run there. St. Louis bringing it out to the 37-yard line. It was a good gain of 4 as the Seal just kind of snuck it himself.
Yeah, we saw that earlier today with the Indianapolis Red Devils. With Nathan Lee, he was getting a lot of quarterback sneaks, and it worked for the most part for the Indianapolis Red Devils on a losing effort. So, hey, I mean, you don't want to put your quarterback in risk, but if it works for 4 yards, why not?
A Seal under pressure, tosses it out to his halfback. Gets a good 2 or 3 yards on that one. We're going to be bringing up a 3rd and 3 as Diaz gets into the action here.
And the 3rd and short obviously is better than the 2nd and longs that St. Louis has been facing all game long. So, if I am St. Louis, probably I'm throwing short to the tight end, Elijah Swain.
And the Seal is changing things up a little bit, barking orders at the line of scrimmage. He's under center, deep drop. Gonna throw it over to the left-hand side. Did he get his feet in bounds? He did not. They're gonna mark it incomplete. Intended for Scott.
And that was Adam Okoye on that coverage. And I say, when you put Adam Okoye on an island, he can make some work. They're gonna challenge.
Yeah, I think it might be a good challenge. I thought he might have gotten his foot in bounds. As we get another look from the booth. Nicely run route there by Scott, able to get the beat on Okoye. But maybe at second glance, they're not going to win this one.
I think he's out.
And they're going to uphold the ruling on the field. St. Louis going to lose the timeout. That brings them down to 2 for the rest of the half. And more importantly, that brings us to another 4th down. And Sioux Falls going to get the ball back once again, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and at this moment, St. Louis needs something out of their defense. And by something, I mean something really huge. Pick 6, or scoop and score, something like that. Because you give that ball to that explosive Sioux Falls offense with the great receivers, with a great QB, very good running back. It's going to be a little bit tough, I think, for St. Louis, unless they get a big defensive play.
Michael Moore on the fair catch. Setting up shop at the 24-yard line. So a little bit of a field to work with for Julian Tyree and company. Not quite the field position that they've had so far today. 4 wideouts. Tyree under center. St. Louis stacking the box. And off to Redford. Redford again. Plenty of room. And he's going to make it out to the 32-yard line. Another chunk of 8 there.
And again, the great blocking by the Sioux Falls Sparrows offensive line and tight ends, making it happen. A little bit more speed by Redford. You're talking about probably 30-40 yards. So, great play by Sioux Falls, and they are just rolling and clicking on all cylinders.
Another handoff to Redford. Redford got plenty of room on the left-hand side this time. Is he going to beat the defense? No, he will not. He's going to get dragged down at the 44-yard line. Big ol' run by Robert Redford out there.
And I think was number 71. Let's see if we can get a replay here. Corey Fuara. We will not get a replay from his perspective, but he pulled to the left from his guard position. And right there, and number 79 as well. They did a phenomenal job on the defensive end. And that was key part for Robert Redford to stretch it to the outside, to the left, and get those big yardage. Amazing play by the offensive line of the Sioux Falls Sparrows.
Redford up to 61 yards rushing. Michael Moore over 100 yards receiving. And we got another first down through the air by Tyree. This time he's thrown it to A.J. Warren. He gets his first catch of the ball game.
And whatever play call, I mean, you can throw a dart on that playbook, and that play is going to work, Eric, it seems, because everything is going from Sioux Falls Sparrows for that offense. Outside runs, inside runs, that post route, the slant routes, everything is working.
It really doesn't matter what they're going to run here. Tyree over to the right-hand side. He's got Warren again. Warren's going to have first down yardage out to the 23-yard line, knocking on the door again.
Wow. You know, this is a amazing drive for the Sioux Falls Sparrows, because now we see the other side of the coin for this offense. First, we saw, you know, a lot of it of Robert Redford. We saw, you know, the number one wide receiver. Now we see A.J. Warren. Now we see Harris.
Redford still getting in on the action, lowering his head, and he's not getting up. Robert Redford is down on the turf. That is bad news for the Sparrows. As we get another look here.
And that looked nasty too. I mean, this, probably helmet to helmet. I'm not sure if it was helmet to helmet, but that didn't, you know, him laying on the ground is not a good sign.
Looks like he's standing upright on the sideline, probably going to get examined for any sort of hit to the head. We will see backup running back Freddie Fox get in there this time. 3 wide outs for Tyree. Another sneak we're going to see, this time by Tyree. And he's going to make it out to the 16-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short upcoming.
You know, and kind of strange, you know, now more and more QBs are going with that quarterback sneak. I remember a few seasons ago, it was just basically Daniel Garcia for the Queen City Corsairs, you know, like 4 seasons ago. Now more and more QBs are going with the sneak, and it works.
And we'll get another handoff from Redford, but this time the St. Louis defense was ready for it. The veteran Aiden Friday getting in there, saying, "No, sir." And I apologize, that was Freddie Fox on the carry. I'm already forgetting that Robert Redford knocked out of the game.
Yeah, you know, when you have a non-contracted running back, you most likely want to go east, not east, but north-south more than east-west. Because sometimes they simply don't have the speed. You can put in between the tackles, but when you put it outside the tackles, it's a little bit difficult.
Sioux Falls going to attempt their first field goal of the game. And it is up and through from 36. So the Sioux Falls Sparrows add on to their lead as Prefontaine knocks it through. Good looking snap and hold. Good looking kick in the sleet and the rain.
Yeah. Not easy to make. You know, even though it was a short field goal, when you have these conditions, non-contracted kicker, you know, sometimes, you know, this is not a guarantee, but able to make the kick, 3 points, and even though they don't have Robert Redford, which is a big loss, you know, Sioux Falls gets a 24-0 lead, so they are okay so far.
Still able to put 3 points on the board even without him. Peltier trying to make something happen. Some sort of special teams, defensive play, something's got to go for St. Louis, as they are just struggling on offense in this awful weather today.
Yeah, and we know that this St. Louis Gladiators offense is not one of the best, but, you know, 0 points after a quarter and a half is not very good. They have to get something going this drive.
The Seal's going to throw, got the feet in bounds, and that's Scott with the reception. 5-yard gain out to the 36-yard line.
And that works, Eric. I mean, this is better than getting sacked, right? This is better than losing 5 yards on a screenplay. You know, this is what St. Louis needs to do, as I was saying. You know, throw it short, you know, probably to Swain, those slant routes, out routes, those kind of things to, you know, have the ball moving, get first downs consistently. You have to give your defense a break.
There have been plenty of yards for a loss on this St. Louis offense, as the Seal's going to throw again. Looks like about the same play. Just short of the first down marker this time. It's Elijah Swain.
Yeah, and now is decision time for the St. Louis Gladiators. You throw the ball again, or on 3rd and 1, you give the ball to Denzel Diaz, probably on like a power formation. that the Gladiators like to do. Running between the tackles. Let's see.
Bunch of
Man-to-man
wide
coverage.
receivers towards the bottom of the screen. You're right, man coverage by Sioux Falls. And instead it's going to be a sneak. A Seal's going to get the first down. And St. Louis keeps it alive.
Wow, just barely. That was a perfect play call. You spread the defense out on man-to-man coverage. And it's basically your 5 offensive linemen against their 4 defensive linemen. 1 yard to gain. Quarterback sneak is the perfect play call. And it worked.
5.5 minutes left to go in the first half. From the 41, a Seal's going to try a handoff to Diaz. Diaz breaking tackles, finally dragged down, but not before he gets yet another first down for St. Louis.
Beautiful play call and beautiful job by the offensive line of the St. Louis Gladiators on the left-hand side. Elijah Swain, look at the offensive lineman pull and put in a linebacker on the ground. I think that was Alex Parker that he put on the ground, which is not easy to do. Great play, great job, and they are now in opposing field position, on Sioux Falls side of the field.
2 backs, another handoff to Diaz. Diaz moving his way out to the 43-yard line. And it's a gain of 4 on that play, and St. Louis is finally starting to get something moving here, Ramos.
Yeah, they are. It seems that now the coaches are looking at more, pictures of the Sioux Falls Sparrows defenses, trying to exploit those few, mind you, weak sides of that defense. So, if they can get at least 3 points on this drive, that will build incredible confidence for the St. Louis Gladiators.
The Seal trying to set up a screen. Offensive linemen were out there, a good chunk of yards. 4 yards, it looks like, out to the 38-yard line.
And again, it's a 3rd and short. Do you quarterback sneak again? Do you throw the ball short to Elijah Swain? This is, again, man-to-man coverage. So do you run the ball up middle? What do you do here?
Options are available for a Seal. And a Seal, short drop, has plenty of time. Good pocket for him, and it's going to be knocked down, incomplete. And that's Okoye on the coverage out there, tips it away.
And again, Adam Okoye, man-to-man coverage, one of the best CBs when you go man-to-man. He has the agility, the speed, and, he's so smart. And he's able to make a play on the ball. And unfortunately, they are out of field goal range. They have to punt the ball one more time.
I would almost argue that it's worth it to keep the offense out on the field at this point. But St. Louis will disagree with me, and Kissinger will try and pin the Sparrows back deep. It's going to bounce at the 1 and bounce harmlessly into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. And we will pause for 30 seconds for a word from our sponsors. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music.
Join the world's fastest growing sim football community by jumping onto our Discord server. Use the Discord command in chat to keep up with schedules, news, notes, announcements, and polls.
We got a
jump off the side.
Big catch on the left-hand sideline. Got to pause that advertisement and get in on this one. What a throw and catch. And guess who? It's Michael Moore once again on the receiving end of a huge play. 1st and goal, Sioux Falls.
Perfect timing route. Again, another post route. They love those type of routes. And it was a corner, Colin Douglas. I think Colin Douglas thought he was going to go like a go route or something like that. Great job, great route running by Michael Moore. And, nice speed by Aaron Arrington. You got to give it to him, chasing him down from the other side of the field.
And hit as he's thrown, too, is Tyree.
Right.
Moore just undercutting a little bit there. Taking about a yard inside and then just cutting it upfield. Sioux Falls back in business again. Handoff is going to be to Fox. Fox is going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
It did not happen the previous time. That I'd say, watch the run to the left. They did it this time. Because they had the mismatch on numbers. They were 2 receivers on the left against 1 corner, and great blocking by the offensive line there. Freddie Fox, the non-contract player, gets in the paint. 30-0 Sioux Falls, and this is already getting a little bit ugly, Eric.
Definitely is. As if the weather wasn't ugly enough. Now the ball game turning ugly as well. Prefontaine getting set up for another extra points. This will be his 4th today, along with the field goal that he netted earlier. And it is up and good. 31-0 here for the Sparrows, as they get set up to kick off to St. Louis once again. And we again want to make sure that you download the ScoreStream app to receive live score updates from the SFL, the league's official live scoring partner, where you can cheer, chat, and most importantly, stay up to date on all the fast-paced action. Ramos, something has got to give here for St. Louis. What do you think they got to do?
Man, at this point, it seems that Sioux Falls is playing with 20 defensive players because everything is like triple covered, and it's incredible what Sioux Falls is doing. Why not test them deep? I mean, I know that you have AJ Levy, you have Chris Dodd, but you need a spark. You need a big play right now. It's right now or never. So even if you put Elijah Swaim on a deep route, something.
Got to get a chunk play here of some type. You're absolutely right. 3 wide receivers. Asil's going to throw. Looks like it's going to be a flag on the play. It'll probably be coming back, which is a shame because that was a good-looking play out to the right-hand side by the Gladiators.
Holding, number 58, offense.
And it will be coming back as the Gladiators were holding on that play. And that's just unfortunate if you're St. Louis.
Yeah, and how about Julian Tyree in the first half? 9 completions out of 11 attempts, 220 yards, and 158.3 rating. That's a perfect rating. You know, again, shout out to Scott Leroux, who's doing the live stats for us. Thank you very much. And Tyree balling out today.
Definitely want to thank Scott for his work today on the stats, making us sound smart. As the pass over the middle, it's a good-looking throw out to the 30-yard line. And it looks like we might see Robert Redford coming back into the ball game, which is bad news for St. Louis here.
Yeah, it truly, truly is. But at the same time, you know, you have to worry about scoring points right now. Like, the stops have to come, but you have to score points.
Pinch on the reception brings us to the 2-minute warning here at Budweiser Stadium. And we're going to see what the Gladiators can do here to wrap up the half. The Seals got 3 wide receivers bunched towards the top of the screen. It's going to be another sneak. They'll get only 1 yard this time as Sioux Falls may be catching on a little bit to that play.
Yep. You know, and Dylan Asil, his stats, 9 completions out of 15 attempts, only 65 yards. Passing the ball and a quarterback rating of 42.3. Definitely has to step it up.
It has been a rough go of things for the Gladiator offense. As the Seals barking out orders at the line of scrimmage, he's going to pass again. Has an out route over to the right-hand side, but that's going to be short of a first down. And it'll stop the clock as well, ducking out of bounds. Minute 25 left to go, and Sioux Falls is going to get the ball back again.
You know, and if you're St. Louis, I mean, Sioux Falls will have still about like 1:15 left approximately in the first half.
That's what I guess.
The offense is clicking in all cylinders. So if you're St. Louis, I mean, you have to play like cover 24. Like, you have to limit the damage as much as you can. You cannot let Sioux Falls score again in this first half.
And you called it about 1:15. They'll officially mark it at 1:17. Sioux Falls still plenty of time. They've got 3 timeouts to work with. And it's very possible we could see another score come up on that scoreboard in favor of the guys with the white jerseys.
You know, how about this? Denzel Diaz has 4 catches, but he has -8 yards catching the football. So, you know, it's insane what Sioux Falls is doing right now.
That's a stunner. It is an absolute stunner. As looks like Fox is still in the ball game, still tending to Redford's injury. And Freddie Fox makes it out to the 32-yard line. What do you think? Sioux Falls maybe comfortable draining the clock a little bit?
I think yes. I mean, I think if you're Sioux Falls, obviously you want to put it in because you never know when a team might come back from a huge deficit. But I think they're content with it.
Fox trying to find the hole. His slower non-contract speed, definitely a good thing for St. Louis as they're able to track him down. That's Scott LaRue in there on the stop.
Yeah. Robert Redford is trying to pull a kind of like a, Emmitt Smith type of feat, with a messed up shoulder. The report says that he may return. He wants to return to the game. So, we might see a one-shoulder guy running the football.
As Tyree throws it over the middle of the field, and that's just a ridiculous catch as Harrelson brings his team out to the 44-yard line. 7 seconds left to go. I'm not sure if Sioux Falls wants to spend a timeout. They're not going to. Tyree's going to pump fake, zing it over to the right-hand side, and they're going to call that a fumble. I don't think it really is going to matter a whole lot as this first half comes to a close. Interesting play. And play call decision, honestly, from Sioux Falls, as that's definitely an incomplete pass.
Yeah. It will go in the books as a fumble, as a turnover, but that's clearly an incomplete pass. It really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter as we go to the locker rooms here. The game getting as ugly as the weather outside. Sioux Falls opening up a 31-point lead. You are watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. We'll see you on the other end of the halftime show, everyone. Getting a look at beautiful Budweiser Stadium here on an ugly day for football. In case you missed it, 38 degrees at kickoff. Definitely chilly out there with snow, sleet, rain, just about everything you could possibly see as far as precipitation goes. And again, make sure to download that ScoreStream app so you can receive live SFL score updates. Available on Android and iOS, so no excuse for you guys. Go and download it today. As Sioux Falls is going to kick off mercifully to the Gladiators, and they will start off at the 29-yard line on the end of Peltier's kick return to start off this second half. Getting a look at other SFL action. The Storm up 6-0 on the Sharks in the second quarter. San Antonio got a 17-7 lead at home against Dallas. And Atlanta is getting shut out by the Skyhawks 17-0 currently, as a Seal gets a big old chunk of yards out to the 35-yard line. A good gain of 6 to start things off. Maybe that was what they needed there, Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about the only thing that has really worked for the St. Louis Gladiators offense in some way. You know, that quarterback sneak gave them, for example, like 4 yards, 3 yards, this time 6 yards. So that's basically the only thing that has worked. Probably you want to do it a little bit more.
So 2nd and 4 now. A Seal going to throw this time. Has a man on the right-hand side. First down of the half for the Gladiators, and that was Finch. Bird against bird crime there.
And actually, the referees are saying that's incomplete, that he was unable to put his feet in bounds. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I buy that.
Yeah, I don't know if you challenge this. They will not, but now again, 3rd and 4.
Also a 3rd down here. I stand corrected. The referee is not agreeing with me at all, as Diaz, making a nice little move, shifts his way out to 1st down yardage to the 41-yard line. That was a great run.
Great run and a great break by the St. Louis Gladiators. You know, the last thing you want is a 3 and out as your first possession. So, you know, getting the 1st down keeps the chains moving, the clock moving, and you know, again, you know, Dylan Seal will find his way. You know, whether it's with a quarterback sneak, short passes, I think he will.
Diaz again showing a nice burst of speed. You know, his diminutive stature is reminding me a lot of one Maurice Jones-Drew. He used to play for UCLA, used to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders. Good-looking running there by the small halfback.
Yeah, obviously you will remember that as, you know, a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. So, and I agree with you. You know, I agree with you. I think Denzel Diaz is in the facility of like a 5'8", which was Maurice Jones-Drew's size. And you're right.
Got to give my Jags some love here, man.
Yeah.
Hoping for a good one next season.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think the Jags will be good next season. They have the defense. They have the offensive pieces. Allen Robinson coming back. I think they will be good. You know, I think, you know, Denzel Diaz is similar to him. Probably not as stout as Maurice Jones-Drew, who he was low-key a very big dude for his small size. You know what I'm saying?
Very large. Yes, absolutely.
He was large.
Going to get a handoff here, though. 1st down yardage out to the 47-yard line. A heavier dose of Diaz here in the 2nd half, though, Ramos.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, the offensive line is playing better to start this 2nd half of football. And, you know, if you can get those 4 or 5 yards every time with Diaz, that's going to make the trick for you. You don't have to go probably deep right now. There's still time left.
Diaz making it out to the line of scrimmage, but no farther that time as he avoided a diving tackler. I think Parker was getting in there on the stop. Nick Pop said it in the chat, though. St. Louis starting slow, but their run game is looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, yes, it is. But now you see a little bit of Denzel Diaz, who seems to be a little bit probably gassed after a few consecutive runs. So I'm expecting a pass here for Dylan Azio.
Might be upcoming here. 3 wide outs. Instead, it's going to be a handoff to Diaz. Diaz, plenty of room on the left-hand side, and he'll get another 1st down. And don't look now, but St. Louis is driving here, Ramos.
Yeah, and Denzel Diaz basically telling me I'm not gassed, I'm not tired, I can still move. And that's a very good run for 12 yards. And St. Louis Gladiators getting closer to at least field goal range.
Diaz up to 43 yards, 50 total yards from scrimmage today. And another sneak for Seal. He's got another 4-yard chunk out to the 29-yard line, getting closer and closer to the red zone.
Whatever moves the sticks, I think, for St. Louis. I mean, if the quarterback sneak is giving you solid yardage, why not? I mean, at this point, you have to put your body on the line, and Dylan Azio is doing just that. So, you know, as long as it keeps the chains moving, you got to do it.
I don't think the St. Louis fan base is going to argue with that either. A short pass by Seal after a deep drop. Only about a couple on that play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and short.
And very methodical drive, and that's what we saw the Queen City Corsairs do yesterday against the London Knights. Those methodical drives with short passes and runs and screen passes. I mean, that's what St. Louis is doing right now.
And St. Louis again getting a big break on the left-hand side. Nice little out route there. Should have only gone for maybe a few yards, but maybe caught Sioux Falls in a lax coverage on that one.
Yeah, great throw right there. It's an out route, and it's like a crossing pattern. Confuses the defense, leaves a big hole. Adam Okoye was supposed to be there, and he gets in the way of the wide receiver. So, nice play design by St. Louis.
Dodd finally bringing him down, but it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 2, as St. Louis has eaten up half of this quarter on the first drive. Another handoff for Diaz, a quick move out to the left-hand side. Looked like the play was flowing right, and he'll lose a couple of yards as a result of that.
That's a kind of like a weird-looking play. That's like a delay counter, because the play goes to the right, the flow is all to the right, and then it's like a one-man reverse almost. Didn't work that time. The Sioux Falls defense is just too fast.
Will be another handoff, though, to Diaz. Diaz able to squeak into the end zone. That's going to be St. Louis's first touchdown of the game.
And
actually, that was the backup running back, though.
Yeah, and what a drive. I mean, this drive took the entire, half the third quarter and puts the ball in the paint. It was the backup running back, as you were saying, Eric.
Richard Charles.
Richard Charles, that is correct, number 8. And, I mean, St. Louis don't look now, but they are not dead yet. I mean, that's a 3-possession game, obviously, with 2-point conversions. So if they can get a big play on defense, I mean, why not?
They do have those 2 corners. Douglas and Arrington, both not anything to take a stick at. And St. Louis makes it a 31-7 ball game. And once again, guys, make sure you download the ScoreStream app, as they will keep you up to date on everything SFL related. Available at Android and iOS. It is the league's official live scoring partner, where you can cheer, chat, and most importantly, stay up to date on all of the fast-paced action. St. Louis kicking off after ending their first possession of the second half. Sioux Falls finally getting a crack at it here, as Warren will bring it out to the 28-yard line. And do you expect to see some gunslinging here by Tyree, or maybe some clock chewing?
I think it depends, because it seems that Freddie Fox is still on the field. So I think that they will opt to throw the ball this drive. And as soon as Robert Redford returns, they will lean towards the run game. So I'm expecting Julian Tyree to keep throwing the ball to Michael Moore and them boys.
First and 10 here. Handoff. That's going to be to Fox again. We still have not seen Robert Redford return to the game. That's going to be a loss of 3. Kilroy Kalua on the stop.
And that's a great pursuit by the big guy, Kilroy Kahula, the outside linebacker, non-contracted player. First, over pursues, and then he runs to the sideline. Great speed by the generic outside linebacker, and makes a tackle. The non-contracted player.
And Lewis stacking the box, leaves plenty of room for Fox to move through, as he's going to get a good chunk of 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5. Much more manageable for the Sparrows offense.
That's Nick Daggs, the strong safety on that one. And normally you see Nick Daggs on the right side of the field on the defense. This time, he was on the left. And, 3rd and 5. If St. Louis can get a stop here, it's going to get interesting. And they do.
St. Louis does, yes, absolutely. Fox not able to go anywhere, loses another yard. And St. Louis going to get the ball back here. Better watch out. If they're able to string something together, we might have a ball game here, folks.
Yeah, that was the big man, Mo Biggins, the defensive tackle. And I think he's like 310 pounds, something like that. So running the ball against that big man is not easy, especially when you don't have Robert Redford on the field.
Alaska taking a 13-0 lead in San Fran. And San Antonio has a 20-10 lead over the Roughnecks in San Antonio. So we're going to see St. Louis come out and possibly put some points on the board here with their second possession of the second half. It was a good-looking first drive there, Ramos. Chewing up a lot of clock. Very efficient, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can get another score, even if it's a field goal before the third quarter ends, it's not impossible. It really isn't. We've seen crazier things in the SFL.
That ball going to get swatted down over the middle of the field as Irvine once again in there to make a play. The Sparrows defense has been all over the place today, especially the star defenders. Two wide outs, an I formation for a Seal. Under center, he's going to throw. Trying to evade pressure, finally checked it down to his running back. He goes nowhere. Out to the 31-yard line. They'll mark it as a 3rd and 9.
Yeah. But getting something out of nothing, getting like half a yard is better than a 6-7 yard sack.
Much better than a sack.
Yeah, so now in the shotgun formation, let's see if those big guys, wide receivers, can make a play.
Seal has him in on the right-hand side. Not this time, though. Nick Pop says, no, sir, you will get nothing and like it.
Nick Pop, out of nowhere, because he was nowhere on the screen. I think that was going to be a catch and probably a first down, but great play by the defensive back, Nick Pop.
Sure, that's what a Seal was thinking as well. He had a man on his right. It was an out route. Hopefully he would have turned it up, but much to the dismay of the Gladiators, they're punting once again. Kissinger has been a busy man today. And Sioux Falls will field it. A nice little spin move by Moore. And he's going to make it out to the 39-yard line, where we will pause for a moment from our sponsors.
Follow the SFL on Twitter @SimulationFL, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels. You're already here, right? Might as well stay tuned. Get league updates on your phone while browsing the internet, and make sure you never miss a live broadcast. Thank you for supporting the SFL.
As Freddie Fox gets a handoff out to the 37-yard line. Be at a loss of a yard on that play.
Not a bad idea when you have the defense of the Sioux Falls Sparrows and you have a big lead. Even though you're not gaining a lot of yardage, when you run the ball, you chew up the clock, and that's something that Sioux Falls has to take care of as well.
Tyree's going to throw it, though. Has a man wide open. Beat his defender over the middle of the field, and I believe that was Warren out there with the catch. It is. And Julian Tyree just putting up video game numbers here today.
Yeah, and not a lot of passes. I mean, it's not like he's throwing the ball 50 times, only 14 attempts, but he has 12 completions, so that's a huge percentage and some big yardage. He might have 400 yards with less than 20 attempts at this pace.
Still with a perfect rating, Julian Tyree going to throw again. This time he makes a poor throw. Error in judgment, possibly, as Freeman Peltier was out there on coverage against Moore.
Yeah, difficult to see those St. Louis Gladiators uniforms on this heavy rain. So probably he didn't even see them. And on a 2nd and 10, I'm expecting another pass probably for Sioux Falls. Probably will go A.J. Warren.
Warren has been relatively quiet, although he now leads the team in catches, which is kind of bizarre, as Tyree is going to throw over the middle of the field. And is that caught? No, it was incomplete. It was such a funny-looking play. I wasn't sure if it maybe bounced back into the receiver's hands.
Yeah, and we want to get a replay, but I think that might have been in some illegal contact on the defense on St. Louis, because I think that they bumped the wide receiver after the ball was thrown. No flag, but that's correct. It was like a funny looking play there.
4 wideouts on 3rd and 10. Tyree gonna throw. He's got a man, and that's that post route once again there, Ramos.
That's correct, and that's Sean Harrelson, who last week against Tulsa, he was absolutely unstoppable.
He was in fuego.
Yeah, he was just incredible, especially with that post route. And there's no team in the SFL, aside the Tallahassee Pride probably, who do that post route better than the Sioux Falls Sparrows.
AJ Levy making a little bit of a joke in the chat. Hello, more passing plays, please. And he's getting some now. Another throw for Tyree. This time it's going to check down over to the halfback. And that might have been his fullback there, actually, as he's able to make it out to the 27-yard line.
Yep, that's Ashley Anderson. And Ashley Anderson, a few years ago, was one of the most explosive backs in the SFL. He was a home run back and one of the most underrated players in SFL history.
Another handoff for Fox. He gets stood up at the line of scrimmage. Great play by that St. Louis defense. As Robert Redford's still out of the game, we might not see him come back. Aiden Friday on the stop.
Yeah. Coming back to Ashley Anderson, I remember that one game, Eric, when he had like 6 touchdowns. It was something crazy. He gained some weight, and now he's working as a fullback, but, still getting the job done.
Absolutely. I remember that game as well. 5 wide outs. Sioux Falls. Tyree's going to throw. Hit as he's thrown and still able to complete the catch.
Wow.
Sean Harrelson with a great catch that will set up the Sparrows with a 1st and goal.
And that is the best Julian Tyree throw all game. He was leveled as he threw the ball. Another post route, that crossing route, post corner. It was Benny Beasley, another former running back for this Sioux Falls Sparrows offense. He did the corner route, Harrelson the post route, and a great play by the Sioux Falls Sparrows again.
Tyree's going to throw. This time another ill-advised throw, as it might have been hard to see those uniforms out there. He just threw it right into coverage. Aaron Arrington knocks it down.
Yeah, right into double coverage, and he was very lucky Aaron Arrington did not pick up that ball, because if he intercepts that ball, probably 6 points. Aaron Arrington has some speed, and when he picks up passes, it's just pick 6 city sometimes.
This might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Tyree from the gun has plenty of time over the left-hand side. That's going to be incomplete. And we'll get one more play. It'll be a 3rd and goal.
2 times in a row where Tyree just, a little bit inaccurate, poor decision throwing. He has a 3rd and goal, the ball at the 8, and even if they don't convert here, score a touchdown, they have pretty much 3 points on the back.
Finally showing he's human. That perfect passer rating down to a 145.4. Oh, jeez. Tyree to throw. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. It was tipped around. Good coverage out there by Arrington. Able to stick his fat mitten there and cause the incompletion. And we are going to go to the 4th quarter of play here at Budweiser Stadium. Staying warm here in the broadcast booth on a rainy, sleety day, as the Sparrows hold a 24-point advantage on the hometown Gladiators.
By the way, congratulations to Aaron Arrington. He is a Hall of Fame finalist on the SFL, the voting, and everything, the nominations and everything will be decided in the SFL convention. So best of luck to Aaron Arrington, the corner. Great career so far.
Definitely can't wait for that. Once again, that's going to be in the Dallas area, Las Colinas to be specific, July 13th through the 15th. If you want more information, check out our website, simulationfl.net. I know I'm going to be there. Ramos will be there too as well, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to set up everything. Most likely I'll be there. I still get some things going, but I for sure would love to be there in Las Colinas, Texas. for a couple days, and you know, a lot of exciting events in the SFL.
Definitely a lot to look forward to here in the SFL. As Sioux Falls up by 27 now. St. Louis can't afford to really have another clock-chewing drive like they did the last time they scored. So we might be seeing a Seal air it out a little bit more, which is not his forte.
Yeah, it's strange to see Denzel Diaz with only 12 attempts. You know, 39 yards only in the game. Kind of tough.
Quick little out route to the right, able to get his feet in bounds. 2nd and 5 upcoming. That was Finch on the catch. That's a good start on the drive.
Yep, definitely. You know, it's a 27-point deficit. So that's 4 touchdowns. You need to score, obviously, a touchdown this drive, and I think you have to throw the ball pretty much from here on out, Eric.
I'd definitely say so also. Can't afford to chew any more clock than you need to. Seal's going to be under center. It'll be a play action this time, avoiding pressure, but he is eventually going to get brought down. At the 38-yard line, it'll be a 3rd and 8 upcoming. Great play by the Sioux Falls defensive front.
Yep, I think that's Marcellus Morton, the defensive end on that play, and you know, that was a play action pass, and Sioux Falls was not fooled on that one.
Sticking with it the whole way. Was not fooled by a Seal even after he laid on the spin move. But Seal's going to throw deep, and he's got a man towards the middle of the field. What a great catch. And there's Elijah Swain. We've been wondering where he was all game.
Yeah, and that was kind of like a weird-looking route. That's not a route that we see a lot in the SFL. It was kind of like an in route, and then he went up. So it's like an in-go route, something like that. And it worked perfectly for the St. Louis Gladiators. Obviously, a big guy like Elijah Swain to put the ball up there. He's going to go up there and get the catch. Let's see if they go in another quarterback sneak here.
Seal instead is going to throw, and geez, he had a defender go right up the middle. Summers just laid the lumber on him as it was incomplete. Lucky that wasn't called a fumble.
Wow, Johnny Summers, you know, and that one, he looked like Kevin Bain or one of those defensive linemen from the Tallahassee Pride, because he was there in the backfield quick, giving ACL no time to throw the ball.
So it stops the clock, which is a good thing for St. Louis at this point. So it's a 2nd and 10. This time it's going to be a screen pass, check down over to Diaz. But Sioux Falls was not fooled. Parker out there on the coverage wraps him up, and it's going to be a gain of nothing.
The speed of this defense, you know, sideline to sideline, those linebackers, you know, Levon Irvine, again, I will mention them. Levon Irvine, you have Nick Fargo, you have Alex Barker. You know, them boys run fast, and it's difficult to get those screen or, you know, flat passes going.
So a 3rd and 10 now for St. Louis. Seal's going to take a deep drop. Has him in on the right-hand side. That's caught for 1st down yardage out to the 24-yard line. This is a little bit faster paced, getting Elijah Swain involved.
Beautiful throw by ACL to Elijah Swain. It was a deep drop back and great protection by the offensive line. Elijah Swain goes in an out route. It was like a 15-yard out route, and it worked perfectly fine for the St. Louis offense.
Keeping you guys updated on the scores around the league. Alaska with a 13-0 lead over San Francisco. We have San Antonio getting the deficit narrowed by the Roughnecks, as it's a 20-17 ball game for the Vaqueros and a 20-7 ball game out in the ATL with Carolina in the lead. And again, guys, I'm using this ScoreStream app. It's great. It's easy to use. Totally free to download. Feel free to download that today so that you can keep up to date on all these scores just like I am now.
And really cool features on the ScoreStream app. Pictures, you can chat, cheer, everything is perfect.
Absolutely. Another throw for St. Louis, keeping the passing game up, as it was, I think it was one of the backup tight ends that had to backtrack a little bit on that play. So it'll be a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was Tito Moss trying to reverse field. It was the wide receiver. And, you know, 3rd and 5, you have the chances. I think you go with Elijah Swaim. He's your guy. He's your receiver.
Bunch of wide receivers. Seal's going to throw into coverage, and it's incomplete. And he was looking for Elijah Swaim on that play.
Yeah, and great job by the Sioux Falls Sparrows. That would seem like even triple coverage on the big tight end. And, you know, that's perfect defensive game planning by the Sparrows coaching staff. You know, they know obviously also that he's the guy, so that's the guy you have to cover.
Graham Northrup with a 4th and 5. And he's going to have roughly a 37-yarder here. We'll see if he can boot it through. It is up, and it is through. They'll mark it as a 36-yarder. But again, that's 3 points on the board, which is much better than what we were looking at before for St. Louis.
It is, and, you know, again, it's a 3-scoring game now. It's a 3-scoring game with 2-point conversions. And with 7:37 left, you get a big play. I mean, I know I've said this all game long, but you get a big play. You never know when it's going to happen, especially when you have a Hall of Fame finalist in Aaron Arrington. When you have big name guys on that secondary, you get an interception. The game just completely changes.
Warren taking it up the field to the 27-yard line, but we will pause. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music.
Want to do what I do? Contact me in a DM on Discord to find out how you can get involved with streaming live games, calling games, or breaking them down on the air with our broadcast team. Or help make our production even better by joining our new live stats team, helping our broadcasters shine brighter. We are #Loading Legends in the SFL.
Freddie Fox still in the ball game, not able to make it past the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 2, and this is exactly what St. Louis is wanting here, Ramos.
Yep. You know, this is issues when you have a non-contracted running back, and you have plays in your playbook that go obviously to your contracted running back. You know, plays that your non-contracted guys sometimes just simply cannot do it. Just those stretch plays, kind of difficult.
And speaking of those stretch plays, I think that's what that play was supposed to be. But instead, he's going to lose another 3 or 4 yards on that play. 3rd and 16 upcoming for Sioux Falls.
Here's where, you know, Freeman Peltier, Aaron Arrington, those guys, you know, Colin Douglas, they smelled the ball. They won the football. Let's see if they can get an interception here.
Tyree in an empty set, 5 wideouts. He's going to throw, has time, throws it over the middle of the field. That's another catch for Harrelson, and he keeps putting daggers into the chest of the Gladiators today.
Wow, that's what you call a dot. I mean, great protection by the offensive line, all day to throw, and that is a wow, what a throw. Accurate pass, perfect spiral in the rain, terrible weather condition. Julian Tyree demonstrates why he's one of the best quarterbacks in SFL history.
I was waiting for one of those pop-ups to come up in the old Batman show. A zing or something like that. Just absolutely incredible. Freddie Fox going to get a handoff. He again goes nowhere as that defensive front watching it the whole way.
Yeah, and even though you're not getting yardage, I think this is a good, you know, game approach by Sioux Falls, running the ball, you know, getting yardage here, probably, you know, and then just keep the clock moving.
2nd and 10, 5:35 left to go in the game. Tyree hit as he's thrown again. This time it gets overthrown, and it kind of sails on him in coverage. Eisenhower, I believe, was on the pressure.
Yeah, that is Manny Eisenhower, who has been quiet this game. You know, he has made a couple of good plays, stopping the run, but other than that, Manny Eisenhower, the defensive tackle, contracted player, you know, he's a building with legs, has been quiet so far.
In San Francisco, showing some life out there in California, 13-7 now as they score a touchdown. Tyree gonna throw on the right-hand side. It's batted down and incomplete. And just want to let you know that's the video that's kind of spazzing out there. It is not us. So just want to let you guys know there everything's good on our end.
Yeah, and that's the Hall of Fame finalist, corner Aaron Arrington. Great play. He recognizes that, route, that combination of routes that Sioux Falls loves to do, the corner and post routes, and he does a tremendous job on shutting that one down. Fourth down.
Fourth down upcoming. Sioux Falls forced the punt. Clock stopped. 5:29. Sioux Falls might be able to score again here. We'll see what happens, as Pelletier going to field it just outside the 20-yard line, and he'll bring it up to the 25. And again, we will pause for a word from our SFL sponsor.
The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music and is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com today and search through thousands of tracks to boost the quality of your stream just like us. APM Music, production music library and custom music house.
Diaz getting a 2-yard carry on that play as we return to Budweiser Stadium. Snowy, sleet, rain, all the good precipitation here in St. Louis today. And a 2nd and 8 upcoming for St. Louis, trying to keep themselves in the ball game as the Seal is going to sneak it for another couple yards. We're going to run no huddle here. The Seal stumbling around in the backfield, steps up, gonna throw, has a man wide open on the right-hand side. Plenty of room for Elijah Swaim as they're gonna bring it up to midfield here.
Wow, what a play. It was like a Steve Young play. Stumbles, throws the ball first down.
The Seal to throw, short drop. He's gonna throw it back, and I think that's, oh no, that's Finch this time. He's gonna get a 4-yard catch and run. Still sticking in that trips formation, bunched wide receivers. Another throw. This time it's picked off.
Wow.
What an incredible interception.
Wow. One of the best corners. Okay, one-on-one. Jumps. Gets the interception. Amazing play. On other stuff in the league, other movement on the league, Atlanta was down 20-0. And your Swarm, Eric, has scored 17 unanswered. They are down 20-17. Terrific game in the ATL.
Definitely want to check that out after I get out of the broadcast booth here. Freddie Fox going to run the ball out to about midfield. They'll mark him down as Nick Daggs has quietly had 7 tackles and a fumble recovery today.
Yes, and the Dax is better. The strong safety is better. Stopping the run. He can cover the pass. He's good at covering the pass, but his forte is definitely in the box, like the box safety, stopping the run, and 7 tackles for safety is pretty dang good.
2nd down and 6 upcoming. 3:33 to go. St. Louis desperate for a stop to get the ball back. And we'll get another carry for Fox. He's going to bring it out to the 49-yard line, 3rd and 4, as the Sparrows continue to eat the clock.
A very good play by the non-con.
So 3rd and 4 upcoming. 2 minutes 55 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter from St. Louis. Fox going to get another handoff and another 1st down, and that'll probably do it here from St. Louis, as there's virtually no chance for St. Louis to come back here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just have to probably try different stuff for the future games, and just hope that the next game is a little bit better than this one.
We're going to get one more play before the 2-minute warning, as play clock is down to 7 seconds. Tyree under center. Actually, it's backup now. We've got backups into the ball game as Sioux Falls senses that this one is in the bag. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 6 upcoming for Sioux Falls, who has this one in the bag with a 24-point advantage in rainy St. Louis. You're watching the SFL on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Willie Beeman in at quarterback. Going to have 2 wideouts, hand off to Fox. And St. Louis will burn a timeout, see if they can maybe get the ball back, put up a few more points just for, you know, for faces, saving face, of course.
And congratulations to the Sioux Falls Sparrows.
Minute and 58 seconds left to go. From the St. Louis 36, Fox going to get another carry, and he's going to get dragged down just shy of the first down marker. So St. Louis is going to get the ball back, but it's going to be too little too late for the Gladiators today. And they're going to set up, I believe, with a punt, as it's a little bit of outside of field goal range here.
Yeah.
And as Ramos was saying earlier, over in the ATL, Carolina now only with a 3-point advantage. San Antonio with a 6-point lead over the rival Roughnecks there in San Antonio. And we also have Alaska in a battle with the Sharks in San Francisco, as the Storm holds a 6-point advantage over the Sharks. So a 1st and 10 now upcoming for St. Louis. Schindler willing to put Willie Beeman's name into the Hall of Fame hat to be a backup quarterback. A Seal gonna throw over the middle. That's caught out across the 30-yard line down to the 32. St. Louis gonna run no huddle. 1 timeout left to their credit. Another snap for a Seal, not able to get the feet in bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10, incomplete pass. So a minute, 26 seconds left to go here in St. Louis. I want to thank everybody who was able to watch this game today, as the Seals going to go deep this time. Almost picked off. Would have been a heck of a play by the backup safety. So with the incompletion, stops the clock once again with 1:22. It'll be 3rd and 10. Ball at the 32, empty set for a Seal. He's going to throw over the middle of the field. Got a man. Out to the 47 this time. They're going to run no huddle once again. More empty for a Seal. Another snap. Deep pass. No, in the middle of the field. Caught across the 30. Down at the 28. They'll burn their last time out with 1:02 left to go here. Nick Finch on the catch.
Hey, Finch.
We definitely want to apologize for any audio difficulty here. My partner Ramos Lynn is kind of going in and out, trying to get that fixed for you guys. But with 1:02 left to go, might not have a whole lot of time left here as Finch able to cross the 20-yard line. Actually, they'll spot it right at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 2, under a minute left to go. Seal to pass once again, able to get it down to the goal line. It'll be marked at the 1, first and goal, 40 seconds left to go. St. Louis trying to get another touchdown on the scoreboard. They're going to spike the ball. 37 seconds left to go, second and goal upcoming. So 37 seconds left to go. That is where we have the clock held. Gladiators down 24 points, trying to cut into the deficit to kind of save face here towards the end of the ball game. Seal's going to throw. Has a screen pass to his fullback, not able to cross the line of scrimmage. He's knocked down shy of the goal line. Third and goal, another pass towards the back of the end zone. That one's incomplete. It's going to be fourth and goal now. 22 seconds left to go for the Gladiators. San Antonio just scoring, making it a 30-17 ball game. Now, fourth and goal from the 2. Under center is Seal to throw. Gonna throw it onto the left-hand side. Tipped away, incomplete. And that pretty much sums up the issues that the St. Louis offense has had with this amazing Sioux Falls defense.
I did Bobby Carpenter on that one.
Just a bit left to go, 19 seconds. But with it being at the 2-yard line, they might not kneel it. Probably going to run a little run play here just to get themselves a little bit of breathing room. There will be a handoff to Fox, who has plenty of room. He's going to make it out to the 11-yard line, and that is where we are going to end things. Final score here in St. Louis. The Sparrows 34, the Gladiators 10. You've been watching the SFL on YouTube presented by APM Music. It has been a heck of a ball game here. But we're able to get indoors and out of the cold. I want to thank Scott LaRue on stats today. And unfortunately, we weren't able to keep Ramos online for the last little bit there. We were having some sort of audio difficulty. But we are going to send it off on that note. So from St. Louis, on behalf of the production crew, Ramos Lynn and Scott LaRue, I want to thank you guys for watching the SFL on YouTube presented by APM Music. Goodbye, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the action today. Coming up.